This is day 2. Hi. Oh my gosh. Hi, I'm Miss Stell. I don't show my face a lot. I have developed a bit of a shy streak since the pandemic and since tailing off of teaching online. I think that happens when you're already an introvert and already a little bit shy. You know, when you back away from doing things in front of people, it just becomes really comfortable. So this is another good reason for me to be participating in the 100-day project this year. I've never done it before, but as I was started the video saying, this is day 2 of the 100-day project. And I am just following my creative inklings. And that's what I've been doing since the fall of 2019. So right before the pandemic kind of hit globally. I felt this urge to slow down, and it ended up being like the right thing for several reasons. Some of it was health stuff that I didn't see coming. And then I think, excuse me, I was also just burned out from teaching online because I had been teaching since 2009. So that was 10 years of kind of being as an introvert, you know, being on. And also kind of not in a super competitive way, but there is this pressure to keep up with what's happening online. And that's not the way I'm wired. So it was good for me to let go of that pressure, even if it was not real or if it was less real than it felt. So anyway, following Creative Inklings, been doing that since 2019, just really focusing on my creative practice and, you know, exploring things that if I was following online class, filming deadlines, etc., I wouldn't have had the same the same time, the same freedom to explore, like learning to carve wood, working with encaustics, incorporating clay and encaustic. Like rug hooking. Like there are several things that I've done now that I really needed to dive into because there were techniques, rules to learn about them so that then I could break off and do it my own way. And that all took time. It took devoted, focused time. And it's so worth it. And you gain this freedom too from letting yourself go like that. So, I'm feeling rambly. Oh, I'm feeling so rambly. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Today, I do want to work a little bit on the painting, the larger painting that I'm working on here. But also, as you can see, I have pulled out a little, kind of a junky little journal. This is the remains of part of a Dylusions mixed media journal. And the other part of it was made into another journal, which I've shown on Instagram. I've done a flip through. So the other day I was mixing paint colors. This is older. Like this stuff is actually from the original journal. A few years ago, I disassembled a bunch of my journals. And I can't remember why I did it. I think it was for inspiration and like jumping off points. Anyway, so this is part of that. So it has some color that was in here from when it was a whole journal. But the other day I came in and was playing around with my Pebeo matte acrylic paints and mixing to see what would happen, and actually creating some custom colors. So that's what these fresher pages are from, and that's where I want to start today. Before I get to working on the painting, I had this urge underneath everything to work in this journal. So I'm going to do my usual thing where I'm looking in the paint, or pareidolia is the other phrase. It's where you see shapes in things. And that is how I draw. That's how I create. And it's at this point, it's supernatural for me to do it that way. Yeah. So like I'm looking at this page here and I already see, where I want to get started. So to save us from my rambling, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get started here, and we'll see where these inklings lead for the rest of our time together. I'm feeling like I want to start scribbling. So I'm going to grab my pencils and Neocolor II crayons and just let myself get going here. And I'm not thinking about color, nothing like that. I just want to move and play here. And maybe this is why I was feeling the urge to get in here and start with a journal, because the scribbling, oh my gosh, you guys, it is so cathartic for me. It just, I don't know, it sets me loose. So I really enjoy starting these. Actually starting anything, paintings. Basically the way I work in my journals, it's the same way that I work on my paintings. I'm not different in that sense. Journals can be, for me, paintings are like big journal pages. You can put it that way. So this kind of loose, expressive start, that's what I like. The painting that I'm working on right now, that I filmed yesterday, that is actually quite different for me, because it did not start like this. It was, as I showed at the beginning of that video, basically I blew up an image from a accordion journal that started like this. And so I blew that image up because I'm drawn to it, following Creative Inklings. And I've always wanted to see what it would feel like larger. So I did that. And I had to make some adjustments because the quirkiness of the original didn't feel authentic with this larger painting. So I made some adjustments the day before yesterday, and it's feeling more natural. But working from a sketch place like that, that's out of my comfort zone. This is like fully in it. I love working like this. So, yeah, so most of my paintings are sorry. Sometimes my my brain stops working. I mean, it doesn't stop working. You know what I mean? I can't keep speech and the work here going at the same time. So anyway, I don't even know what I was saying now. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna bring in some paint. And I'm gonna grab a brush that, let's see, I usually use round brushes. I love them so much for this. I can just scribble with them. But I've got a filbert and a flat here, or a bright actually. They just looked right, but I think I'm gonna go with the bright. Wet it a little bit and get going. And I am not worried about the water soluble wax pastel, the Neo Color 2s. They're gonna make a mess and that's fine. Sometimes I will seal them by brayering, like rolling over this with matte medium. Actually, I mean any acrylic medium would be fine. But today I'm just gonna go for it. I'm squinting just to see what I can see here. Okay, so now one thing that I really like about the painting that's going behind me is the pink under the skin. And I have done that before, but it's presenting itself differently. I love brown and pink together, so it is a combination that I use for my for painting brown skin. But this is just, it feels different. So I'm going to play around with that and see where that leads. And I really enjoy all of the like unexpected things that happen when when you're working with media that can merge. I really enjoy that, and it just gives you something to respond to. I'm going to decide what do I want here. Okay. I think that's probably a good ground for this. Pull you in a little bit. I moved some stuff around in my painting area here, and I didn't adjust the camera, so I can't get as close as I would like to. But hopefully this will be okay for you anyway. Okay. So let's see. I'm thinking I've got a red Stabilo, and I just want to scratch into the background with it a little bit and just create a bit of a pattern, I think, behind her. And it might get painted over, I don't know. I love this part. I love the not knowing. That is actually a huge part of my process. I am so, it's another thing that's very cathartic for me. I actually love the creative process itself more than the finished work. So, you know, anything that keeps that sense of wonder and interest going for me, that's what I really, that's like what I super enjoy about being an artist. Like I don't typically have a fear of the blank page. Like that excites me. It's, oh, we get to make a mess, we get to play, we get to explore and see what happens. Like it's an adventure. And that's why it's harder for me to have an idea, like to start with an idea or a sketch, because it reins me in. And so I have to find other ways, like really, really loose mark making, to make that process enjoyable for me. Because it feels very much the opposite of this. And then, there are people who this is terrifying. And they really, their process is about starting with the idea and watching that come to life. So, the more that you play and explore, the more you learn about your creative voice. And that's why it really doesn't pay to pay so much continual attention to someone else's work, because they're not you. They don't have your voice. I think that's probably one thing that a lot of us just don't value. And, the beauty of having our own creative voices. Something so beautiful about that. And I think we don't, we miss it. We miss the, what is it that we miss? The joy of it. The freedom. Okay, so now I've scribbled with my favorite graphite all around the face here. I'm gonna because I'm not going to pull out any Payne's Gray, I'm just going to use my graphite here to help start shaping things a little bit. All right,